it's raining, I'm bored, a day off. I think I mentioned this in the past, that days off, I've never really got on very well with them. When I used to live down in Cornwall or live in the French Alps when I was skiing, I'd always be able to amuse myself with sport. But in recent years it's become a bit more difficult. I've never been particularly fond of sitting around and chilling. I do like doing that after I've done my sports and after I've done loads of things during the day. But if it's like a rainy day and I live in a town now, so I could go down the gym. There's lots of things to do. But I've just become tired of a lot of everyday stuff. Going downtown, I quite often go downtown. It's nice down there, but it's just less interesting than it used to be. So I'm 57 years old. I'm a TV cameraman. I haven't always been a TV cameraman. I used to be, before the COVID shutdown, I used to do a lot of corporate work, fashion work and automotive work and events and things like that. I used to do a lot of that, safety videos and things like that. That's my bread and butter work. I used to keep myself in business for probably a couple of dozen clients, to be fair, I had back in those days, and then that all stopped. So let's start at the beginning. I was born in Woking in Surrey. My grandparents owned a pub, quite a famous pub, and I was brought up there. So Mum and Dad, they split up when I was a kid. I was about 7 or 8, I think. My dad went off and had other families, and it's got a whole other history. I keep in touch with him a little bit, but not so much recently, in recent years. But I do see him. I didn't see him for a long time. My mum was always working, off and away, so I was brought up by my grandparents in this pub, which was quite an adventure, really. It was quite a playground, living in this pub. It's a big pub, big gardens, lots of outbuildings, really quite had oak trees down the bottom, which I used to be able to climb. I had lots of things to do for a kid, so I was brought up like that, and I used to go down to the down the lane behind the pub to where all the other kids lived, because I was a little bit far away from them. Not far, a quarter of a mile. I used to wander down, even when I was young. Even when I was under 10, I'd wander down and go and play, doing usual boy kid stuff, playing in the woods, starting fires, playing conkers, all that kind of stuff. So it was a pretty active, wild childhood like that. I was left to my own devices pretty much. They call them latchkey kids, don't they? Because I think my nan used to drop me off at school, and then she'd pick me up, and then they'd have to open the pub or go and do stuff, so I was just left. But I was fine as a kid. I loved it. I really did love my childhood, my really young childhood. Had no mother and father figure, really. A bit Tom Sawyerish, I guess. So that went on for years. And then they retired. They left the pub when I was about 11 or 12, I think. And we moved into a house in Woking, which I think they owned as well anyway. And it had a great big granny annex. So they lived there with me and my mum until Nanny passed away, and that just left Grandad. He was a bit of a cantankerous old git, so don't really have a lot to say about him because he never really did anything with his time. When I got to 16, I left home. I went to Stonehenge Festival, 1984. Yeah, that was quite fun. A whole bunch of us went down there, down to the Stonehenge Festival, which some people are aware of, some people aren't. It was right on the stones before they closed the stones off. You used to be able to go and sit on the stones watch the sun come up. That was great, that was. And that was the start of my years of just free living, really. I lived with some New Age travellers for a while. I did some squatting. We had a squat in Chichester. We had other squats back in the day when loads of people used to squat. Squatted at the college I went to. I went to a tech college up in near Surrey, and we all squatted there. There were loads of vehicles. And they were all doing environmental health courses and conservation courses. That was all becoming quite trendy back then. So everybody was at college, living in vehicles, living in caravans, going to college, getting their diplomas. I did, for some strange reason, I did computer science. Don't ask me why, but I did. So yeah, I finished all that, and then when I was 21, I went to Cornwall, and I got a job in a bar for one summer. Went with a mate. And the long story short of that was, over the next 12 years, I stayed in Cornwall, and I ended up running a surf shop on the north coast of Cornwall. That was pretty good. I was up there for quite a long time. And the shop shut for 3, maybe 4 months every year in the winter, depending on Easter. So I'd go skiing or snowboarding to the French Alps, and I'd go and live there. So I probably did that 6-7 years, ski seasons, 3 or 4 months at a time. Got pretty good at that. Interspersed with a few winters where I went travelling. We did a surf trip in Mexico. We did a Bali surf trip, again 3 or 4 months these are. Australia, went to California as well. Yeah, did all those kind of things as well, and this was all in that period until I was about, let's say, 30. And then I suddenly woke up one day, or probably over the course of a bit of time, and realised that I wasn't really going anywhere. I was just treading water and enjoying myself, leading a hedonistic lifestyle, which was good, but you get to 30 and you think, maybe I should do something. So I applied for a job at the Daily Telegraph and got a job at the Daily Telegraph in sales, because that's what I've been doing for years. So I up sticks and went to London, lived with a friend in New Cross, and commuted to the Daily Telegraph and earned loads of money and had a proper 9-to-5 corporate job. I got promoted to sort of external sales. It was mainly sales, really, advertising sales. So we had big targets to hit. The Telegraph, it was the recruitment supplement, which I don't even think exists anymore. Used to have a sort of a 50-page supplement every Thursday, and it would take about £30 million every Thursday. It was insane. It was just massive numbers. You couldn't even... I remember that a full-page advert that Boeing took out, I think it was Boeing or Airbus, took out on the front page of the Daily Telegraph appointment. So this is just the recruitment section, when they were looking for a lot of engineers, and it was 150,000 quid for one day. It was crazy money. It wasn't my contract. The boss had all the big contracts, but the rest of us had good contracts and made a few grand a month in commission. So we were doing really well. So I did that. I bought my house in Farnborough, well, maisonette, 2-bedroom maisonette, in about 2001, and that's when I started. I was still at the Telegraph for a while when I bought that, and I stayed there for a year or two, and then I randomly went off and did a ski season in Maribel, my last ski season. I'd had enough, so I just quit the job, had my house, did my ski season. Then when I came back, I was 22 years, I think I had that property, and I lived in it pretty much alone. I got into mountain biking. I did a lot of mountain biking, actually. That was good. Off-road, downhill mountain biking and trails. Went to France and places like that, and did some epic mountain crossing and things like that. It was good. Had that for years and years and years, and it was really cool. And then I met my long-term partner, for which I was with for 9 years. I was with her for 9 years, and then we bought a house just about 5 years ago. I sold my house, and this was just after COVID. I sold my house, made quite a bit of money on the equity. She had a really good job, still has got a really good job, earning a huge amount of money, more than I ever earned as a a cameraman, freelancer. So I had the big wad of cash, and she had the big salary, and combined we got a really good mortgage for 3 years. That was really awesome. And then we just drifted apart and sold the house just over 2 years ago. So she went her way. We split the money straight down the middle. We weren't married. It was fine. She's got a couple of kids. They're teenagers now. They were 3 and 5 when I met them. They're all doing fine. They're all good. I've been doing, since COVID, doing the TV stuff. So doing the football, doing the cricket, doing the motor racing, equestrian events, a little bit of event filming, and a little bit of corporate stuff. I did have quite a good client that was Jaguar BMW, which gave me regular work actually, but they've just recently just lost the contracts. Really, all the budgets have been slashed. I believe it's to do with Trump's tariffs and the automotive industry. That's what they all tell me. So that's gone. I did work for a small company that did training videos for top end, sort of like the BBC, and for Ford, the top execs. They used to train them in interview techniques, and I used to be the cameraman that would go around and film. I'd get a couple of days out of that a week. That was good day rate. Also did the greyhound racing. Used to do that for quite a while. For about 3 years there was a Sky TV channel dedicated to greyhound racing. We used to do all the interviews with the owners and the trainers. That went bust for whatever reason. Lost its Sky channel, so that finished. So just recently, in the last year or so, I'd say, maybe in the last 2 years, I'd say that 50 or 60% of my, maybe more, of my major clients have just folded or just stopped doing what they're doing. So I've been left with the sport, which is great, but a lot of it is in the summer. So the cricket's in the summer, the motor racing is all through the fairer weather times. The greyhounds, they were doing it this summer, but they've stopped. They revitalised that this summer, and I did some work for them up at some of the big greyhound venues. But that stopped because it's winter. The cricket stopped, as I say. Everything stopped, so it's quiet. So I'm not getting much work at all. Fortunately, I've still got cash. I don't have to pay a mortgage. I've got a good deal where I stay here with my studio. I live in my van quite often when I do go away for events, or I just go for pleasure, really. I just go and stay in the van. Bit of a van lifer, really, because it's cheap and my van's really comfortable. It's, as I've said in previous videos, got everything you could want, really. So I'm in a good position there. But then on days like today, when I've been in the studio, I had a bit of editing to do and sort a camera out, and then now it's raining and there's just nothing to do, and I've kind of become tired of a lot of it. I've done a lot of sports, a lot of entertaining things over the years. Cars are going right near the van, but they managed to get through. And a lot of these sports. So as I'm getting older as well, the ski seasons, my back hurts a little bit. Plus the fact, the day I decide to go to Australia for the winter, or to Thailand for the winter, or skiing for the winter, I'll get calls from my clients saying, "Oh, can you come and do this job and that job?" Which is okay. You don't want to deny yourself all the things you like to do in life because of work. But on the flip side of the coin, I don't want to lose that work because I'm going to need that. So it's a matter of kind of maybe just going away for a short period of time and maybe missing a job. Maybe they won't ring me. There's so few clients now. I need to make an effort to find more clients. I do ring round. I do send messages. I do keep in contact with people. But brand new, fresh clients, it's hard to find. TV camera work is fine. AI is not going to replace that. Certainly not now, because they're big, heavy cameras and people need to hold them and film for television. You can't make that up with AI. Adverts and social media adverts and a lot of things like that, and a lot of this training stuff, it's being taken over by AI. So, finding new business is difficult. It's not to say you can't. I follow friends on Facebook and they, they're working. But similarly, some of them are not working. We used to do, me and a cameraman friend, for about 3 years running, we did at the Northumberland Hotel in London. Very, very, very posh. Did a cryptocurrency seminar. 3 cameras, really good pay. Lasted the best part of a week. But this year, they went to a different hotel about a month ago. About a month ago. They went to a different hotel, and the hotel offered them normal cameras to film their event, but all the cameras are controlled by AI. So all the cameras have got face recognition and AI. It's obvious. These things have been around a few years now. But they found a solution apparently that means you don't need to have people. The venue provide all the cameras and the AI does all the filming work. Fortunately though, we have spoken to the client and he said it was atrocious. Because humans are unpredictable, and the AI can't predict where if someone's supposed to stand at a lectern and talk and then they decide to go off for a walk on the stage. Some people do that, like Steve Jobs used to do, just wander around and chat. The AI can't keep up with that, and if they go and stand behind someone it gets confused. But if you're a camera person, then you can obviously get the shot you need, and we've never failed. So he said he'll go back with us next year, so that's good. So that leaves me in this position where the few videos I've put on YouTube was me travelling and staying in the van to stay the night before I did a job up in Birmingham or wherever, and have a bit of fun, go to the services. I quite enjoy staying at the services, that's quite fun. And it's cheaper on the budget. And then I did a couple of videos of me actually at the racetracks, behind the scenes. That was quite fun, that was good. But again, that's finished. So in the spring, I'll start all that again. I'll start making videos like that, definitely, because they are good fun and quite good to watch. But for now, I'm running out of ideas. I did a video last week of me walking down into town, and I bought some clothes dye. Not super interesting, really, but it was the only one I've ever made, so it was quite a bit of fun to make. Killed some time. So that leads me here. No house, no girlfriend, not much work at all, not much to keep me occupied. I go down the gym, I work out, and I was at the cinema the other week. I go around my friend's house. I do lots of those things that we all do. I sit around and watch telly in my off time, a bit of reading. I watch a bit of YouTube because I quite enjoy that. So I've got plenty of normal things to do, but I'm just bored of them. I'm fed up of them. At my age now, I think the problem is I don't have any kids, and I never wanted any really because I was always too busy. Never got around to it. But now, with Christmas coming, I can go and see my brother, I can go and see my mum, go and see my friends. Got another friend I can go and see. I've got 4 places, and plus I can be here as well, because my landlady will be back for Christmas, and she's put decorations up. So I've got 4 or 5 places I can go for the Christmas period. But it's not as fun as it used to be. It's not as fun. I suppose Christmas is for kids, isn't it? So if I had kids, then you're forced into doing stuff, aren't you? Spending your money and going out and going and watching Wicked or going to the pantomime. I used to film pantomime every year for about 5, 6, 7 years, but that stopped about 10 years ago. I think they all just left. The people that I knew left the pantomime circuit, and that sort of new people came in and they got someone else to do it. But yeah, I used to do that. So here I am sitting in my van, lunchtime on a Thursday, no work. I've got stuff I've got to do tomorrow, so I'm alright for tomorrow. But today I could walk into town, but I'll get absolutely soaked. People would say there's hundreds of things to do. There's thousands of things to do. Of course there are, and I've done them all. I've done lots and lots of different things over the years to amuse myself. I'm a musician, so I've written 36 songs. I write it with synthesizer keyboards. I play bass, and then it's all recorded onto Pro Tools and Cubase. And I used to perform. I used to be in a band, 2-piece band, original music, 80s electro. We used to get paid £300 for doing a 2-hour set between us, which is good cash, 150 quid each. That's great, but it used to clash with, if I had to be up at the race circuits at really early on a Saturday morning, I couldn't do a Saturday night gig, and I couldn't do a Friday night gig, and then drive up to Donington, pack all the kit up. I get to Donington about 3 in the morning, and I've got to be up at 7 to work for 12 hours. Oh, it's just, so I had to give it up. Sold the rights to it to the guy to perform it, and he kindly has written in our little Google contract that if I want to remix or use any of the original tracks that I've made, I'm welcome to do it, but I haven't done anything with it yet because I've been too busy. But now I suppose I could do it, but now I haven't got any musician friends really anymore. I used to have a couple of musician friends that I used to jam with, but they were younger than me. They've both gone to university. Are they still at university? They're in their late 20s. They're a lot younger than me. Mid to late 20s they are. Still at university. But yeah, they're out of the area, so I could, I guess, put an advert in the local sort of, no, not the local press. What am I, back in the 70s? Just put an online advert in one of those find a musician or join my band. Maybe I should do that. Maybe I've just come up with an idea of something to do. So what I'm going to do though is I'm going to stop talking now, because that's a potted history, very, very concise history of what I've been doing over the last 50 years. I've probably missed out 80% of the information. It's a timeline more than anything. And then, so I'm going to get in my little car that I made a video from the other week when it was raining. And I'm going to go down the BP station, get some lunch. And then, I don't know. But anyway, I'm going to post this on YouTube, and it's for my purposes, if nothing else. If anybody watches it and wants to comment on 100 things that I could be doing to beat the boredom, I welcome it. But anyway, take care. I'm sure I'll make another video soon. This is the weather.